More than 30 girls from West Wallsend High jumped at the chance to learn self-defence from English teacher and martial arts expert Brian Hayes. Each week for sport they learn the art of escape and attack, and their mentor says he's learned the stereotype that girls can't fight is no more than a myth.
Girls certainly have a very strong fight instinct, and I think it's a different instinct to boys. And when girls do fight or a corner, they fight tenaciously. I've done some ground fighting with these 13-year-olds, and I tell you, some of them are quite tough.
Brian says the self-defence class is all about giving girls options so they have the best chance of taking control of their lives in any situation. And his charges agree, keeping the aim of self-preservation well and truly in sight.
Teenage rape's getting a lot larger these days, so I need to know how to defend myself.
But the element of fun is not forgotten either.
I feel really energetic and feel like building people around sometimes too, especially when I'm in a bad mood.
The girls have now done 8 weeks of self-defence and will graduate in 2 weeks as formidable fighters, not to be messed with. Laura Saperstein, NBN News.
Six losses in a row left South Melbourne languishing at the bottom of the Ericsson Cup, but buoyed by a big home crowd, one of Australia's largest clubs threatened from the opening exchanges. But neither side was able to find the back of the net in the first half. It wasn't till the 54th minute that a long-range effort by Craig Lewis put South Melbourne 1 goal ahead. The Breakers responded quickly through Jason Bennett and with 15 minutes remaining kept themselves in the match. But a goal to Ivan Kilic in the 74th minute and a penalty on full time gave the home side a 3-1 victory, breaking their streak and moving up 1 place on the ladder.
The soil surveyors found that the river flats in the Morpeth area are the richest in the state.
They're very fertile soils, and that's why they're so productive and we can produce such high quality food from them.
5 years in the making, the maps of the soil types of Newcastle and Port Stephens provide up-to-date information on land management for the region.
We undertake laboratory analysis of those soils, and from that we can get a picture of the types of limitations there are out there for our urban and rural uses.
A surprising number of people will be able to use the maps, from gardeners and farmers to town planners, developers and engineers, as the range and complexity of the soil is a vital ingredient to how and where they operate. The study uncovered ancient relics. The soil here at Medowie is amongst the oldest on the east coast.
They were probably formed about 1 million years ago, and we estimate that they may have been formed from a small eruption.
The maps are also seen as a valuable tool for land care groups to decipher areas susceptible to land degradation. Peter Ryan, NBN News.
I've watched with politicians and governments building and thought that would never be repeated, but that certainly would cater for the needs of the whole of the Shire. And in no time at all.
The launch of the Newcastle University Law Review today was a sign the 3-year-old Faculty of Law has come of age.
It's a sign of maturity for our faculty.
Recent winner of the United Nations Human Rights Medal and former Chief Justice of the Family Court, Elizabeth Evatt, lent legal weight to the fledgling journal. The review will probe the most recent developments at the cutting edge of legal research.
We hope to engender debate, not just at the local level, but also at the international level too.
Topics for this edition include native title and industrial relations. The journal's editor says he's already received a great deal of interest from libraries around the country and overseas.
Only 3 months into its new term of office, Council is already struggling with a number of major financial headaches. It's looking at ways of chopping $1.3 million from the budget, a serious problem described by some as a legacy from the previous council.
The previous council and those who controlled it, although I was on the council, really took the opportunity to leave some difficulties for the new council and tried to make themselves look good.
Council's General Manager has prepared a draft report outlining his recommendations for getting the books in order. They include reviewing capital works, including the proposed National Park netball project, cutting back on the number of studies done by consultants, and putting a hold on filling 25 vacant staff positions.
The draft report is recommending that placements that are lost through attrition, natural attrition, not be replaced. Now, that helps to balance the budget, but it also means that there are less jobs available, and I'm concerned about that as well. So we've got to find a middle ground there.
Also on Council's financial agenda, the new Summerhill Waste Management Facility with its $1.8 million shortfall.
I really believe that we overspent on Summerhill, and now we've got the day of reckoning is upon us, and we need to take care of that. But the immediate problem is to get the budget, the financial budget balanced.
The State of the Environment report is the second to be released by the EPA. It's examined our major environmental problems and found that compared with Sydney, the Hunter is faring well. The report identifies those areas of the environment that have improved and those that need urgent attention. On the positive side, the levels of lead in the air and in children's blood in Lake Macquarie have been reduced. And compared with Sydney, the disposal of effluent in the Hunter is much better, making the beaches cleaner.
Overall, the effluent quality going out in our ocean outfalls has improved over time and is at a fairly high standard now.
But it's not all good news. Sulphur emissions from power stations, particularly in the Upper Hunter, are a concern. So too is the level of salinity or salt in the Hunter River.
4 of the 6 sites were showing elevated levels. That's going to require action.
Jodie McKay, NBN News.
New Year's Eve is a time to celebrate, and for most people that means a few drinks. But at Shoal Bay, the 31st of December should be a sober night.
Certainly enjoy yourselves, but be also aware that there are restrictions on alcohol, and just have a good time but behave.
It's the second year of the alcohol-free zone on the main strip at Shoal Bay after problems in previous New Year's Eve parties with rowdy hooligan behaviour. Today, local police, shopkeepers and council met and voted to rerun last year's dry run. Police described last year's celebrations here at Shoal Bay as a resounding success. Crowd behaviour improved dramatically on previous years, and there were no complaints from local residents.
There was hardly any glass on the reserves. People were well behaved. People wrote us in letters saying that they really appreciated what we had done and could we do it again.
Peter Ryan, NBN News. The $8 million plant is expected to supply 125,000 tonnes of fertilizer products in its first year through central, northern and southeastern New South Wales. While it was officially opened today, it's already been working for more than 3 months with 21 people employed.
And we expect to grow this facility to put much more through it each year, and we expect that will in itself provide more employment.
And in an unusual move, farming lobby group New South Wales Farmers has endorsed the plant, saying it's helped push fertiliser prices down, especially in some parts of the north of the state, which had been dominated by one company.
There was one monopoly company for the major part, or you had to import fertiliser, and that was very, very difficult. And this is now we've got a competitive situation. People can make their choices based on price and service.
Earlier this year, Mitchell stunned the swimming public by finishing second in the World Championships in the United States. It was his first swim over the 25-kilometre distance, and since then, race winner Canadian Greg Streppel has retired, giving Mitchell the #1 tag. He's on target to officially claim that title after his win at Manly over the weekend, finishing the Australian 8-kilometre course in 1 hour and 33 minutes, 2 minutes ahead of his nearest rival. In Speedway, John Brown, Stu Robinson along with John and Ron Pine have been selected for the first Super Sedan test against the United States. They'll take on the Americans on Boxing Day. The Aussie team was announced following Saturday night's 20-lap final in the fourth round of the Top Gun series. That was won by John Pine, while Robertson took out the Stars Dash. And in tennis, Australia's two leading players have fought out the final of the South Australian Open. Nicole Bradke beating Newcastle's Rachel McQuillan in straight sets.
The Newcastle City Mission clocks up about 1,000 kilometres a week in an ageing truck, picking up and delivering used furniture. But now the mission has a new vehicle thanks to John Farraher Transport and North Newcastle Motors. The donation of the vehicle and its ongoing maintenance is worth about $20,000.
It's great to have two local firms supporting us and supporting a local charity in helping local people in their time of need.
The Newcastle City Mission accommodates up to 30 families a week and delivers food parcels throughout the city, West Lakes and Maitland. Doug Clements, General Manager of the mission, says many people are feeling the pinch this Christmas.
It is a time of pressure when families are under stress and pressure and wanting to make their budget meet ends, and they often come to the City Mission as a place where they can get that help.
The Caltech service station at Sandgate is a family business built over more than 20 years. Owners Graham and Christine White have seen out the tough times and hazards of the job, such as hold-ups, but the latest robbery was an especially low blow. Thieves cut their way into the shop sometime after closing last night and using oxyacetylene equipment cracked a toughened steel and concrete floor safe. Inside, a substantial amount of money and jewellery given to Christine on her 21st birthday.
A gold charm bracelet and a particularly unusual silver locket with gold filigree in it.
Thieves bypassed the shop's alarm and security system. The robbery has left the Whites shaken.
Yeah, we're not alone, unfortunately.
Another service station at nearby Warrabrook was also broken into. The thieves, unable to get into the safe, stole cigarettes. Andrew Lobb, NBN News.
The 2-year contract to build 2 oil rigs for Bass Strait is worth more than $1 billion. While most of the project is centred in Port Kembla, the oil modules, or the above the water level sections of the oil rigs, are being built at Kooragang.
We hope to be finishing this work in the May, June, July timeframe, which is right on our target schedule for taking these things down to Port Kembla. 400
people are working in Newcastle. It's a joint project between Esso and BHP. Engineering giant Transfield won the contract to build the modules. The Port Kembla end has been a tricky engineering feat, building concrete platforms as opposed to steel.
First time ever in Australia, and also first time for Esso as an operator.
And there have been some teething problems with the job in Port Kembla, about 7 months behind schedule. Everything going to plan from here on, the platform should be drilling for oil by the end of next year. The oil and gas fields are expected to have a 20-year life.
BHP proposed the Belmont Sands development nearly 2 years ago. The company wanted the sand mining quarry to be rezoned residential and commercial, while protecting environmentally sensitive dunes and wetlands. Last night, a $79,000 independent study into the environmental effects of development in the area gave added impetus to the project.
Certainly some form of urban development within the degraded dune areas would not be incompatible with the important environmental aspects of that development area.
The study suggests what should be done with the land, but concentrates more on what shouldn't be done.
The strategy essentially proposes to preserve those environmental aspects, which are the wetlands and the dune systems.
BHP has welcomed the findings, but the company will have to wait until the study goes on display in January to gauge public opinion. Richard O'Leary, NBN News.